Look, the first thing you need to understand deeply, not just intellectually, is that no one is coming to save you.
Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, not the government. That fantasy of rescue is rooted in a kind of learned helplessness, a psychological passivity that tells you it's okay to wait. But here's the harsh truth. Every second you spend waiting for someone else to give you permission, to validate you, to pull you out of your circumstances, is a second you've surrendered your agency. You are capable of more than you think, but only if you're willing to take responsibility. Responsibility is not just about doing the right thing, it's about reclaiming your sense of control. When you stop outsourcing your life to circumstance or other people, you realize how much power you actually have. That's when the transformation begins, not when things get easier, but when you get stronger. It's a philosophical shift, from victim to creator, from passenger to driver. You don't need a savior, you need a standard, a decision, a backbone. So get up, not when it's convenient, but now, and become the person no one ever had to save. Excuses are seductive. They're the stories we tell ourselves to explain why we're not where we want to be, and the more we repeat them, the more they become part of our identity. I don't have time. I wasn't given the same chances. I'm just not ready. But the problem isn't the excuse itself, it's that we start believing it. We mistake rationalization for truth, and once that happens, we lose clarity. We stop aiming upward, and instead, we settle into a version of ourselves that's far less than what we're capable of. Psychologically, excuses offer us a kind of comfort. They protect our ego from the pain of failure. But that comfort is temporary and deceptive. It doesn't build resilience. It doesn't develop competence. It just keeps us frozen. And philosophically, there's something dangerous about repeatedly avoiding responsibility. It weakens the soul. It teaches us that the path of least resistance is acceptable, even admirable, when in truth, it is the path to mediocrity. You want to grow, you want change, then stop negotiating with weakness. Confront your excuses head on and dismantle them. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment you finally start moving forward. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather, driven by mood, by environment, by novelty. You watch a video, hear a powerful speech, feel the rush, and then it fades. That's not a flaw in you. That's the nature of emotion. But if you build your life around waiting for motivation, you're building on sand. What actually moves you forward, what sustains progress through fatigue, through boredom, through adversity, is discipline. Discipline is structure imposed by choice. It's the decision to act in alignment with your values, not your feelings. And it's rooted in something deeper than willpower, it's identity. You wake up early not because it's fun, but because the kind of person you've decided to be does asterisk. You train, study, show up consistently because you've internalized a standard that doesn't fluctuate with your emotions. That's how high performers operate. That's how character is forged. When discipline becomes habitual, you no longer rely on external stimuli to move. You've built an internal engine, quiet, unshakable, and focused. And in a world that rewards consistency over intensity, that internal engine is everything. So train discipline like a muscle, because it's the foundation of all greatness. Most people instinctively avoid discomfort. It's natural. Our biology is designed to keep us safe, to conserve energy, to seek ease. But here's the paradox. The very thing you're avoiding, the grind, the repetition, the effort that feels thankless, is the thing that will shape you. Growth doesn't happen in the moments of pleasure or ease. It happens in friction, in resistance, in doing the hard thing again and again when no one's watching and no one's clapping. Psychologically, the grind exposes your limitations,
And that's precisely where transformation begins.
It reveals your fears, your doubts, your breaking points. But in facing those and enduring them, you begin to reconstruct yourself. You become someone capable not just of surviving hardship, but of extracting value from it. Philosophically, this is the process of becoming, of moving from potential to actual.
It's not about achieving perfection. It's about refining your being through challenge. You want strength. Face the resistance. You want wisdom. Sit with the struggle. Every rep, every early morning, every failure you rise from, it's all compounding into something powerful.
So stop waiting for it to get easier. The grind is the gate. Walk through it. There's a point where complaining becomes corrosive, not just to your mindset, but to your soul.
It begins as frustration, which is valid, but if left unchecked, it turns into blame. Blame then breeds bitterness, and bitterness blinds you to your own agency. It's easy to point at circumstances, people, or systems and say, "That's why I'm stuck." But the harder and more transformative path is to look inward and ask, what can I build from where I am? Creation is an act of responsibility. It requires effort, courage, and clarity. It means taking what little you have of your time, your energy, your skill, and doing something with it. Even if it's small, especially if it's small. Philosophically, this is the essence of purpose. To create is to assert meaning in a chaotic world. It is to say, I am not passive, I am a force. I am not defined by what happens to me. I define myself by what I do in response.
So the next time you're tempted to complain, pause and redirect that energy. Build something, solve something.
Start something, because in the end, it's not the noise that defines you, it's the work. At some point, you have to stop hoping someone else will carry the weight for you.
Stop waiting for the perfect mentor, the right opportunity, the ideal moment. That mindset, the expectation that salvation will come from outside, is a quiet form of surrender.
It's a refusal to step into the very responsibility that would make you powerful.
You become strong when you decide that no one is coming and that you must be the one to rise, regardless of how unfair, how unprepared, or how unqualified you feel. There's a deep psychological shift that happens when you begin to see yourself as the hero of your own story, not the victim of it. You start holding yourself to a higher standard. You stop seeking comfort and start seeking competence. You don't just react to life, you respond with purpose. Philosophically, that's the foundation of sovereignty, taking full ownership of your path, no matter how uncertain it is. You were never meant to wait for someone else to choose you. You were meant to choose yourself. So stop hesitating. Stand up, take the first step, and become the person who didn't need saving, because they ** saved themselves **.